Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Friday, March the 18th edition of Lehigh Valley Sports Scene. Dan Freemuth with you as part of the Service Electric Network. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Lots to get to on tonight's program. Cassie Schmidt has a recap from last night's first ever Phantoms Cup at PPL Center. Plus, Steve Degler sits down with new Iron Pigs manager Anthony Contreras. But we begin this evening's program with spring sports at the high school level, which swings into full gear just over a week from now. Our spring sports previews begin in boys volleyball, where the Parkland Trojans are coming off an impressive 21-3 campaign from a year ago, the team's best mark since dropping just a pair of games back in 2016. The Trojans claimed district gold last spring, Parkland's first district title since that 2016 squad. With practices underway and a tournament coming up this weekend, Gwen Begley has more on how the Trojans are ready to get back to work on what they hope will be yet another successful season.
Well, you win some and you lose some. That sentiment rings true not just for games, but rosters as well, as Parkland lost 9 seniors to last year's district championship squad. The win, however, is that they've got 6 sophomores on this year's varsity team. Scott Trumbauer saying they will see time in the rotation throughout the season, and complemented with these 6 returning seniors, Parkland again is poised to be a threat both in the EPC and the district.
The young guys have really stepped up and have really been pushing the older guys to practice, and it's been a nice dynamic so far. We definitely have, a couple of the sophomores have been playing and passing and playing defense so well this year. So, that just makes everything else look a little easier. It takes the pressure off the setter a little bit. It puts the pressure then on the hitters to perform. But in those roles we have, some of the upperclassmen. So I think that once the offense gets rolling, because the defense will hopefully be there the whole time. I'm hoping for some positive things.
In terms of strength and weakness, well, that goes back to the lineup. The youth can either hurt the Trojans or it can help them.
It's just learning the new lineup with the guys. We have a new setter who's got to connect with the hitters a lot better than we have been so far. It's going to take some growing pains. But just once we get those connections going, I think we have the defense and the passing to kind of get us in system a little bit. But the youth in certain positions are going to cause some errors throughout the year, and I'm more than willing to accept those. It's just how do we grow after a couple matches and see how they begin to really mesh.
Parkland hits the ground running with 3 matches in 6 days, starting with Whitehall next Friday to open its season.
I love playing a lot of matches in a short period of time, and we did it last year at the end of the season, jamming matches in just to get them all in. But we started out with Whitehall again this year, and that's what we did last year, and it's kind of it's a good early season check. I mean, one of the 2 teams is going to walk out with a loss, and may feel like they have pressure on them. But you want to play the better teams early just to see where you stand, what you got to work on, so that when you see them again, and we see them again at the end of the season, what do we got to do to improve? And we added a non-league match at the very end of our season this year with Penn Ridge. I happened to talk to our coach the other day, and he said he's been really impressed with his guys this year so far. So that's another one to look forward to as well. We jammed Liberty in there twice as well, and they're going to be a pretty good team this year. So the schedule's packed, and our 2 regular tournaments we get to go to again finally. So we've missed out for 2 years now. So we're back to get to go and see the West Coast teams and the teams from the Harrisburg area again. So it'll be great to get out there again.
At Parkland High School, I'm Gwen Begley for the Service Electric Network.
Thanks a lot, Gwen, and best of luck to the Trojans coming up this season. While Parkland claimed a district title last year, the Trojans did fall short of EPC gold, dropping that title tilt to rival Emmaus. Parkland in search of its first league crown since 2016. Trojans begin the 2020 campaign, as you heard, exactly 1 week from today at home against Whitehall. That's certainly a must-see match for Parkland boys volleyball this season. Here's 3 others to keep your eyes on for the Trojans boys volleyball team. Just 5 days after that season opener, good early season litmus test, as Coach Trumbauer mentioned, against Whitehall. Then it's a tough home showdown against Liberty. You heard Coach mention it's a Hurricanes team that's likely to be on the rise this season after just an 8-9 record overall a year ago. Then that second meeting of the year with the Zephyrs from Whitehall comes at Whitehall on the road on April the 25th. That's a Zephyrs group that went 17-3 a year ago, which included a 15-1 mark in EPC play. The Zephyrs and Trojans were atop the EPC during the regular season, both going 15-0. And then that rivalry showdown between Parkland and Emmaus comes on May the 4th. These 2 teams met in the EPC championship a year ago. Green Hornets won that. They then met again in the district final. Parkland took that in 4 sets. As I mentioned, that was the first district crown for the Trojans since 2016. Parkland's season a year ago ended in the opening round of the PIAA tournament against Central Dauphin, a team that eventually became the state runner-up. Coach Trumbauer in his 21st season, at the helm. Gwen mentioned all of those senior losses and some big names: J.T. Siggins, Jordan Lewis, Mason Bergstein. So certainly lots of minutes, lots of reps up for grabs as Parkland reloads going into the upcoming 2022 campaign. Well,